The movie opens in the small town of Troy, New York, where the Christmas spirit is in full bloom. The town is known for its Christmas tradition of the Troy Victorian Stroll, where the whole town is transformed into a Victorian play. Citizens and tourists walk around the streets wearing Victorian clothes and acting like they are living in the 19th century. It's in this scenery that director Madison Rush, along with her friend Haley, decides to release their new play, a mock trial called Who Really Wrote 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Madison is a beautiful actress, famous for her role in a sitcom during the 80s. Tired of only acting in feeble movies and TV shows because of money, Madison decided that she wants to be a director. Her dream is to direct meaningful and special plays, like the one she's going to show to the city of Troy. She's not a native of the town, but she understands the importance of tradition for them. Madison and Haley worked hard to make the play happen, and they even managed to convince Madison's former coworker, a handsome actor named Connor Avery, to participate. Connor is coming all the way from New York to spend Christmas in Troy, just to help Madison. Connor has a daughter named Josie, and he'll leave her with her grandmother until she can go to Troy to spend Christmas with him. Connor is very excited about the play. He loves acting, but it isn't as fulfilling as it once was. Much like Madison, he's tired of playing the same characters over and over again. Acting in a famous play, with Madison as the director, is a great opportunity for him to explore his talent. After saying a heartfelt goodbye to Josie, he leaves to go to Troy. In the meantime, Madison organizes the last details of the play. As she hurries to the theater to a meeting with the actors, she bumps into an old man dressed in Victorian clothes, staring at the play's poster. Madison happily explains what the play is about, but the man recognizes the name of the play. As he talks to her, Madison notices that his accent is different, but she dismisses it as him being one of the many citizens cosplaying as a Victorian. Before she can talk more to the man, her phone rings. It's her agent, and he has some good news about a new role she can play on TV. Madison patiently explains to him that she doesn't want to act anymore, she wants to be behind the cameras. Besides, she won't be able to go to the audition due to the play. Her agent isn't very happy. He believes Madison is wasting her talent with small-town plays that no one talks about. She disagrees. Working on the play is the happiest she has been in a long time. As she waits for the actors to arrive for the meeting, Haley shows up with some bad news. She has another job in Los Angeles that she can't miss. Madison feels a bit nervous that she will be alone, but she's determined to make it work. Connor and the other main actress, Lena, show up for their first meeting. As soon as she sees Connor, Haley cracks a joke about Madison having a crush on him. Madison reminds her of her #1 dating rule: she doesn't go out with actors. Haley pretends she believes that Madison doesn't feel anything for Connor, knowing it's a lie. Connor is very happy to see Madison after so long. During the meeting, it's possible to notice that Lena, different from Connor, has no experience in acting. She's the producer's girlfriend, so she had no other option but to cast her. Lena is pretty, but Madison is afraid her lack of experience will hinder her. Later on, as the whole cast arrives, Madison explains what the play is about. There are two authors, Henry Livingston Jr. and Clement Clark Moore, who is credited for writing the poem "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." The mock trial consists of two sides defending the authorship of one of the men. Connor and Lena will be the attorneys, and the audience will be the jury. They get to decide which side represents better. It's a great idea to involve the audience, and Madison feels as if that will make a difference in the play. As Madison talks about the play, the same old man from before shows up, looking lost and confused. No one notices him standing there. During the first reading, everyone notices that Lena isn't very good. Later on, in a private meeting with Haley and Connor, Haley suggests to shorten Lena's lines, but Madison thinks it's too late. Instead of criticizing Lena, Madison decides to face the challenge head-on. Haley goes off to answer her phone, leaving Madison and Connor alone. Madison thanks him for coming, but it's no big deal to him. She feels guilty when he mentions that Josie is at home waiting for her classes to finish before coming to Troy. Connor promises her it's fine, and that he's glad she invited him. What Madison doesn't know is that Connor has a crush on her. He finds her beautiful, talented, and driven. Unfortunately, due to their busy lives, they never had the chance to explore the chemistry between them. Connor hopes that with their proximity, he could get to know Madison better, and maybe ask her on a date. After the meeting, Haley leaves to go to Los Angeles, while Connor and Madison go on a stroll. Jefferson, the play's producer and Lena's boyfriend, shows up to talk to Madison. In his opinion, the screenplay is great, but the romance is lacking. He wants to see more fire and passion in the play, but with Lena as the leading actress, that might be hard to accomplish. Madison freaks out about the changes Jefferson suggested. The play is in 10 days, and they still need to rehearse. Plus, Madison needs to help Lena to practice her acting skills. It's all too much, and she has to do it alone, now that Haley's left. Seeing her so distraught and worried, Connor offers to help her with whatever she needs. Madison is surprised at his generosity, but accepts it with open arms. They agree to meet again the next day, so Connor can help her think about something else for the play. Madison thanks him profusely for his help, and for being a good friend. Connor forces a smile when she calls him a friend. He wants to be more than that. Madison starts brainstorming ideas with Haley and points out that Connor is helping her out. Haley jokes that Madison is spending too much time with Connor, but Madison promises he's only helping her with work. The next day, Connor is having breakfast at the inn Madison's staying at when she arrives. She's surprised to see him there, even more when the inn's owner flirts with him. When the woman leaves, Madison jokes that he's already charming everyone, and he replies that he has to catch up after his divorce. They have breakfast together and then go to the public library to do some research. Madison has a lot of fun with Connor. He's spirited and passionate, he's always smiling or joking, and it makes her heart warm. As they spend more time together, she can't deny her attraction. Later that day, as Madison reads Livingston's biography, an old man dressed in Victorian clothes accidentally drops a book on her desk. He apologizes, and Madison notices that he also talks as if he were living in another time. She thinks he's another cosplay, but the man introduces himself as Major Henry Livingston Jr. She's so amazed by the way he portrays the character that she has a great idea. She'll add 2 new characters into her play, The Ghosts of Livingston Jr., and more. The very next day, Madison already has the new screenplay done. Connor is happy with the results, while Lena is a bit nervous. She has even more lines now, and she isn't sure she will be able to memorize them all. Madison also introduces the old cosplayer named Livingston, and in the first rehearsal, he's absolutely fantastic. Madison is hopeful that with his addition, the play will be even better than before. The only thing she still needs to figure out is the romance part of the play. In the evening, she goes back to her inn, and Connor is there too. He's helping the owner bake cookies. Madison is surprised that he knows how to bake, and he reminds her that he has a daughter. As they talk, Madison complains that it's been so long since she dated that she doesn't know how to write romance anymore. She asks Connor to tell her something romantic to help her, and he confesses that their kiss on their TV show was his favorite on-screen kiss. He stares deep into her eyes as he says that, and Madison gets flustered. It's the first time he's so direct with his affections, and she doesn't know how to act. So she makes a joke and he gets embarrassed. Things get even worse when she tries to soften the blow by saying that it was a great movie kiss. There's a tension between them that wasn't there before his declaration. They are thankfully saved by Connor's phone ringing. After he leaves to answer the call, Madison berates herself for being so awkward. As she goes back to her room, she overhears Connor talking to his daughter, and she finds it lovely. He's such a good father and friend, she can only imagine how he would be as a boyfriend. The next day at rehearsal, Lena is terrible. Madison feels bad for her and decides it's time for her to help her find her confidence. They go back to the inn after the rehearsal, and Madison teaches her a technique her father taught her. It works great for Lena. Connor is in awe of Madison's passion and kindness. The town is getting ready for the Troy Victorian stroll. Connor and Madison help and enjoy the festival. The town looks beautiful with the Christmas decorations, and it's snowing. It's a very romantic setting. Connor and Madison go drink hot chocolate and talk. Madison explains that her father was the one who taught her how to act, even though he wasn't an actor. He always supported her, and she misses him greatly. He passed away when she was only 11. The reason why she's going back to the theater is that her father loved it. She wants to pay homage to him by becoming a great director. Connor admires her heart, and the way she cares so much not only with the play, but the people working on it too. For a moment, they gaze deeply into each other's eyes, feeling a connection they have never felt before. The following morning, Connor invites Madison to go to a toy store with him. While they are there, the same strange old man that appeared for Madison appears for Connor. He whispers to him that Livingston is a charlatan, and he's the real author of the poem. Connor is confused, but before he can ask what the man is talking about, he disappears, leaving the actor spooked. Later on, Connor receives an email from his agent with an audition for a new movie. He isn't looking forward to being away from Josie to work again. He did it when she was a baby, but now she's grown. She needs the stability of a home and her father. He's confused about what he's going to do moving forward. Madison calls Haley to inform her about the play, and her friend notices she keeps mentioning Connor. Once again, Haley tries to bait Madison into confessing her feelings, but Madison is elusive. Lena appears, practicing her lines in the way Madison taught her, when Jefferson shows up with great news. He's trying to bring a famous producer to watch the play, to allow Lena to shine. Moving on, Madison finds Connor wrapping Christmas gifts for Josie, and decides to keep him company. She notices a few law books lying around, and questions Connor about it. He's thinking about going back to being a lawyer. Before he became a successful actor, he went to law school. As a kid, he and his single mother were poor. He wanted to have stability, so he studied hard to get a scholarship in law school. There, he decided to go to improv classes, and found out he had a talent for acting. He doesn't love acting. For him, it's a way to provide for his family. Now, he's wondering if he did the right thing by becoming an actor instead of a lawyer. As they talk, Connor remembers the old man from the store, and has an idea. He believes it would be nice to have the ghost of Moore argue his case against the ghost of Livingston. Madison doesn't know if it's a good idea, since they have only 3 days before the opening. The next day, Madison's agent calls her to talk about a new acting role again. Madison wants to focus on her career as a director, and at least get through her first production. Her agent is worried she won't have as many opportunities as a director as she has as an actress. After the call, Madison meets Jefferson, and he has an elegant woman beside him. He introduces her as the Broadway legend, Sophia Ferrantino. The producer says she's excited to see Madison's play, and Madison immediately feels the pressure. Things are starting to get real for her, and quickly. To make things worse, Jefferson wants the producer to watch the rehearsal, and Madison is completely against it. Jefferson explains that Sophia wants to take their production to one of her Broadway teams, and Madison has to admit it's a great opportunity. After taking a deep breath and praying everything will work out, she gives the news to Connor. He notices she's nervous about the producer's presence and comforts her. He knows she's more than capable of directing the play. It's good to see Connor has some confidence in her. She has to show a strong front to the producer and her actors, especially Lena, who is also nervous. The rehearsal is about to start, and there's no sign of the Livingston actor. Madison decides to go on with the rehearsal, hoping for the best. In the beginning, Lena has some issues with her nervousness, but she remembers the technique Madison taught her, and it works. Her acting is much better than before, and Madison is proud. The rest of the play goes well, until the part where they have to call the ghost of Henry Livingston Jr. The actor is nowhere to be seen, and they are apprehensive that he won't show up. Suddenly there's a hazy smoke, and the ghost appears, surprising everyone. The producer is enchanted with the play. While the ghost of Livingston is talking, another ghost shows up. This time, it's the old man who talked to Madison and Connor. He introduces himself as Clement Clark Moore. No one knows what is happening anymore. The character wasn't in the script. Madison tells everyone to go on with it, so Connor calls the man to the stand. He gives his version of the story, and Connor improvises. When it's Lena's time to improvise, she's even more nervous. She starts stuttering, but eventually, she gets her confidence back. When the time for a verdict arrives, Madison quickly ends the rehearsal, explaining that the audience will choose the winner. She congratulates her actors and crew, happy that everything went well in the end. They go out to celebrate afterwards. Madison asks Connor who the guy playing Moore is, but he doesn't know. They have no information about the men, or how to reach them. The success or failure of the play rests in their hands. Jefferson shows up, saying that Sophia loved the play. There's nothing concrete about turning it into a Broadway play, but he's hopeful. Later that day, Connor and Madison spend some time together in the inn's living room. Madison sits close to Connor on a small sofa, and he shows her pictures of Josie. She's in awe at how grown she is. As they talk about Josie, Connor confesses that he's thinking about changing his occupation because of Josie. He cites Madison as an example of a person who is always reinventing herself, and he's sure he could do the same. After his compliment, they gaze at each other for a long time again. This time, their faces are only a breath away. Madison quietly asks him to say something romantic to her. Connor feels as if his heart will jump out of his chest with their proximity, and he wants nothing more than kiss her. It's the perfect moment. Madison feels similarly, for some reason, though they are reluctant to move forward. Instead of kissing like they wanted to, Connor hugs Madison close to him, and they stare at the fire. Josie arrives the next day to spend Christmas with Connor. He's very happy to see her again. They decide to decorate the Christmas tree together and invite Madison to join them. At first, she fears she's invading their privacy, but after much insistence, she agrees. They have a lot of fun together, and Madison fits right in. Connor is glad to see her enjoying herself with his family. His heart warms whenever he sees her smiling or laughing. When the tree is decorated, they celebrate by drinking eggnog. As they are leaving to go sightseeing around Troy with Josie and Connor's mother, Lena shows up looking down in the dumps. She asks to talk to Madison in private and informs her that she got a role in a production in New Zealand. Madison is very happy for her, until she explains that it starts filming on the day after the play's release. She has to leave that same day to arrive there on time. Madison watches all her hard work going down the drain. Lena is apologetic and even offers to stay, though she would lose her new role. Madison disagrees because it's too much of a good opportunity for her to not go. She takes her frustrations out on Jefferson. They argue about who is going to replace Lena, and he offers his full support in whatever she wants to do. Madison has to think fast about her options. There's no way she can hire another actress only days before the play is released. Going back to the theater, Madison starts crying and apologizes to her dad for her failure. Haley arrives there to comfort her friend, and Madison has never been so relieved to see her. They hug, and Haley gives her an alternative. Madison could be the leading actress. She knows the lines in the plot, thus, she's already an actress. Madison is reluctant. She feels as if it's a step back from fulfilling her dream of becoming a director. Haley disagrees. She believes that Madison is capable of doing both. Connor and Josie also show up. She watches Josie playing in the set, and it reminds her of herself at that age. She started as an actress, and she loved it. Slowly, but surely, the idea of being the main actress isn't as bad anymore. The day of the play finally arrives. Madison is nervous and excited at the same time. Her agent is also there to support her, finally understanding that Madison has another passion in life. When she goes to the stage to get ready, she bumps into Connor. He compliments her, saying she looks beautiful, and she thanks him with a bright smile. Despite everything that happened in the last few hours, Madison is optimistic. The only problem now is that the ghosts are nowhere to be seen again. Madison decides that if they don't show up, they can improvise. Both she and Connor are experienced actors, and they feel confident they can manage. The theater is packed. As they act, there's a lot of chemistry between them, without them even realizing it. A tension that isn't between their characters. There's a moment when Madison accuses Connor, the character, that she knew he only took the case because he would see her again. What Madison doesn't know is that for Connor, it's true. They stare at each other and almost kiss, but Madison's afraid. She still doesn't know what to do with her feelings, though she knows she likes Connor more than a friend. The part of the ghosts arrives. For a moment, they don't think they will show up. Suddenly, the lights in the theater start going on and off. Then the ghost of Moore arrives, saying that the ghost of Livingston is detained. During the mock trial, the ghost points out facts about Madison's own life to make his case, as if he knows everything about her. He mentions that he's being judged by a group of people who only know about him through books and hearsay. Madison and Connor, as actors, know how it feels like to be judged like that. After his trial, there's a break for the jury to deliberate. While waiting with Connor, Sophia suddenly shows up, surprising them. She compliments Madison's acting and their flirting, saying that they can keep it up in the following plays. She wants the play to be annual in Troy, and for Madison to work with her in future projects, as a director. It's truly a Christmas miracle, and Madison can't believe how fortunate she is. She had been so afraid that things would not work out, and they did. All because she had confidence in herself. She and Connor celebrate. The jury decide that the writer of the poem was Moore, by 9-1. Madison and Connor shake hands, and he kisses her hand. The play is a huge success, and everyone loves it. The ghosts of the writers watch the audience applauding, promising to show up the following year to see if the verdict will change. Madison and Connor leave the theater holding hands. Connor informs her that he's looking forward to spending more time with her in New York, and she shuts him up with a passionate kiss. After years since they last saw each other, they finally can act upon their feelings. Connor jokingly points out that Madison doesn't date actors, and she replies that he's lucky he's a lawyer. They kiss again, knowing that their lives will be full of surprises moving forward, and they will face it together.